Hey everyone, Mac is back. Today we're going to talk about the update that just went through recently and kind of briefly go over some of the improvements in the game that I quite like. So let's get to it. One of the very first additions that they made to the game here for this recent update are the castle exteriors and marching animations. The update that they did is if you click on the customize button here, you come into this screen instead of the previous one that they had, which actually if you click on the castle itself, it'll show you here which castle, what it looks like, more of the zoomed in view, and then over here you can see all of your the permanent buffs, your active collection buffs, and your active buffs over here as well. And there's two tabs here at the top, one for the exteriors and one for the marching animations, and it's the exact same thing. You can click back between the two, and all you have to do is just click on them and then you press the use button and it'll switch right over to whichever animation you have. They also added the letter here for kind of which level they are. So for instance, these are like these A's, the B is your default one, and then your A is one that you have to obviously probably purchase for the most part. Then some of these S ones, which are a little bit better, and then you can see the SS like here on the top right. The Sunken City here is an SS because it's very good. And then you can go down, you can see the ones that even if you don't have, but you can see that the SS, those are the ones that are going to cost you a little bit of money to get. But you can also just kind of go down, and it kind of gives you more of a level of which ones are good, which ones aren't so good. In your benefits tab, they said of the update that the weekly cards categories were increased. Now, I'm not 100% sure on this about what actually was increased, because looking at weekly cards, you can see here you buy 7 days for the Amethyst shop and then the Dragon Forge pack. There's a 7 days up here as well. Those are the two weekly packs that I'm aware of. You can see the monthly card down here. Now over here you can see these are times 7, so I guess these would be considered weekly cards as well, because clearly this is a monthly card. So I guess my guess is that these may have changed a little bit, or maybe they're going to change. You can see they are weekly cards, honor banner and scroll. So maybe this is going to change. Can't go down there. So yeah, so I'm guessing these are just going to change every week maybe, or something like that. So you can like kind of cycle back through depending on what you need or what you want. And with some of the commander buffs, one I want to note is Lats, Enzo, and Drake. They all got a slightly different type of buff. The one that they did here, you can see it says every 3 seconds Commander Lats increases ally infantry lineup defense by 7%, which used to be 5%. And they can stack up to 4 times, which used to be 5 times. So basically you're losing 2% defense at full when it's completely stacked. However, you're going to be able to get there faster because you can only stack up to 4 times instead of the 5 times. So it's just a little bit faster, because then when it's fully stacked every 3 seconds, 1% heal the wounded ally infantry lineup. So there's actually just a faster heal when it comes to this, which actually I think will be better for those healing lineups you have where they need to proc off. The buff for Jamie was just a 1-second buff, so basically it says when allied lineups receive healing, the lineup's normal attack changes to a weakness attack for 5 seconds. That used to be 4 seconds, so you get an extra second, which can actually equate out longer, and because of every time you receive that heal, and you're adding, they just buff the Lats, Enzo, and Drake, who have the heal effect. So which is also adding on to Jamie, so they've basically increased the healing lineup. So if you run this lineup, if you run like a Lats, Enzo, Drake, obviously you're going to have Jamie 4 stars, and you're going to be able to get an extra buff in there as well. Within the Ultimate Tournament, they made something that they changed something or added something that's actually very good that I like, and I'm very happy that they did it. So if you look under either your attack or defense formation, and you can see here all your lineups, you can see what my lineups are right now, but you can actually these buttons here to be able to switch what you want. So like for the Vanguard, if I want to put that in the middle guard, I just click on this button here and boom. Before I had to completely eliminate these lineups and then put them back together. This is absolutely very, very good. So you can just move them back and forth however you want to do them. Easier for you to kind of mix them up, so if someone keeps attacking you, you can be able to mix these up and hopefully you'll be able to win. Additionally, with the Ultimate Tournament, they added some more details here when it comes to the buffs and the rules of this event, which is kind of good because I think it's good to have the more details here. Kind of let you know that no battle losses. We already kind of knew that. We knew that War Fervor, Dragon Skill, Hall of Faces up to 7, and all the titles and whatnot are not part of it. Plus, they make sure that the castle exteriors aren't part of it as well, and that if you have a lord captured in your dungeon, you don't get any buffs for that. Just you get basically your lord bonus, your equipment, talents, and badges, but it also applies to all 3 armies deployed. So that's really good too. So that just doesn't go to the one where your lord is deployed. And kind of one of the hidden additions to the game was this the statistics area, where in the statistics in a battle report, I'm just going to use a rebel camp here as an example, but you can see here it says enemies eliminated and total enemies eliminated in battle. And when looking at that, if you just hover over it, it'll show you the breakdown of what the dragon did, your normal troop attack, if you have a weakness attack in there, the active army skills of all the commanders, if the commander awakening, and the fortifications if they had any as well. So this is really, really good to see the breakdown of it. So when you're trying to compare which lineups you like together, which commanders you want together to be able to do more damage, you can actually just go into here to an attack that you made and be able to see which one and how they proc off. You can also see from the enemy as well. You can scroll down to them. You can see normal attacks and the active skills. So I think this is a kind of a very nice addition to the game. And as we all have been finding out in the recent months, that bows are very powerful. I think that the devs are starting to catch up with that, to see that they don't want basically just everybody to go bows and then it's kind of a wash of whoever has the higher stats. That's the end of it. They'd like to have some strategy in the game, so I think they're going to continue to do this. What I'm explaining now is they're increasing the statistics of some of the troops. So for instance, right now they're doing infantry, and tier 2 infantry have increased from 33 to 36 attack, which I think is very good. And then the elite ones, they went from 50, I believe it was 56 to 60. So they increased it by 4, which actually is a pretty good increase, because if you're adding on a percentage to that, that small increase is actually quite significant. And then tier 4, they added 7 onto that. It was 93 and now it is 100, which is very good, because you compare that to 100 to 105 to 115. It's a very, very nice boost for infantry. In the album collection, they opened up the 3rd book, and there are some nice little some stats in here that we're going to be able to find out where to get them. You can see here it doesn't really show the source as none, so we don't really know what's going to be yet until it's released. But there's some fervor, attack, health, and defense, enemy bow, attack, health, and defense. I'm sure the bow people will be getting those. Enemy infantry, attack, defense, fortification, max troops, so that'll be good for those tank, the ones that want to tank, and a lot of bows as well. Great city. There's some spear. I think it's going to be attack. Yeah, attack, spear, attack, health, defense, and hospital capacity, healing speed. Then you get it looks like a reduction, enemy spear reduction, and there's the bow reduction as well, and then infantry, and then total attack reduction, health, and which will be this will obviously I think will be a more difficult one to get, although it's only 1%. So don't go crazy with these trying to think that they're going to be help you out significantly. And lastly, I wanted to talk about the Rey awakening. So she hasn't been awakened in game yet. However, if you click on Kevin, you can hover over her icon here, and it'll give you what her 4-star ability is going to be. And here we can talk about that very briefly. So whenever allied troops land a critical hit, they inflict bleed on the target. Whenever the allied front row lands a total of 20 normal attacks, the next normal attack will be a critical hit, damage coefficient 120%. However, Rey will be silenced, which she has that ability when you have like training grounds and that kind of thing, for the entire battle, and her silence status, she's unable to cast her active army skill. So this relates very, very well, obviously, to this lineup right here. And the reason that is because Sinara is one that we talked about before, that you don't use your active army skills, so Rey won't use hers either, but she has obviously another ability there as well. And the same thing for Sandor Clegane, and Kevin will also be a part of that. But one of the big things here is it talks about in Rey is whenever an allied troops land a critical hit. So obviously you need 20 normal attacks for the next normal attack to be a critical hit, but also you have that with Jon Snow as well. So if you look at the second portion of his non-front row troop types, normal attacks will have a 20% chance of dealing 150% critical hit for 25 seconds. If that actually procs off, I mean, you're talking 25 seconds of critical hits, then she's going to say, if you look at hers, whenever an allied land a critical hit, so for 25 seconds they're going to land a critical hit, then you're going to get, then you're going to have this damage coefficient of 120%. So it's pretty massive if Jon Snow can get his ability off with Rey. So this lineup here is very, very solid. I would say this one here is too. You're just basically just subbing in. You're taking out Rey and you're putting in Barrett, but I still think that Rey is going to be very, very good. We'll have to see her in action here when she is released here in the next couple days, and we'll get some. Hopefully, I can get some reports or something, and maybe be able to see, actually what kind of damage that she does. But this kind of synergy here is very, very good. So if you did pay up and you were able to get Jon Snow and the Hound for 4 stars, and then these other 3, of course, would be a very, very nice addition. And I'm sure there are others that might be able to put together as well. But this is just kind of obviously a line of recommendations. So until next time, Mac out.